I'm Hill Grimmett. I've been a member at St. Luke's for about 15 years now. Um, One of the most important things to me in thinking about being a Christian, about my place in the church, is to remember that the words holy and whole and health all come from the same root. And I don't know where I learned that, but it was a long time ago, and it helped me understand some things that I hadn't understood before. I began, as I did things like read the Gospels and read about lives of the saints, and I've been quite interested in the desert fathers and mothers over the years, and the very earliest people who were seeking God alone in the desert. Is that one of the things that seems to me to characterize all those human lives is a sense that they're all of a piece, all of one whole, that are oriented towards God, and all of the things that one does and says and is occupied with is driven by that focus. That seems like an ideal to me, something that I absolutely fail to live up to all the time. But it's become a kind of guiding principle for me that I want to make my life all of a piece. I want to live out in my words, in my deeds, in my work, in my family life, in my relationships with other people, in my work with the congregation at St. Luke's, or my participation in the congregation at St. Luke's, my work with the larger church from time to time. I want that all to be sort of an integrated whole that's an expression. There are maybe various expressions of one central fact in my life, which is the presence of God. If I can be aware of it, if I can keep myself out of the equation, God's present to me, and it gives me, it's like, there's a passage I know from some saint, I don't remember, talks about the lodestone of the heart being oriented towards God. And that seems to me to be a really powerful image. One of the things that means for me is that I really have come to believe that we can do this, live out our principle as best we can. You know, we fall and stumble all the time, but as best we can live these out in our day-to-day life. And when we do that, some really remarkable things happen. There's a phrase from, I think, the Gospels that talks, Jesus says, I come to bring life and bring it abundantly. And to me, abundantly is really a characteristic of the way I want to live. I want to live deeply. I want to live fully. I want to have deep relationships with God, with my wife, with the people in my life. I want to have work that allows me to do the same with relationship to what I'm working with. And over the years, I've heard a lot of people say to me things along the line of, oh, you know, in the real world, you can't do that. In the real world, you got to make compromises. In the real world, you know, in the business world, you can't always stick to your goals and your ideals and your morals and all this stuff. And I never was very comfortable with that notion, but I've come to believe that it's wrong-headed. And that whatever stresses and pulls and tensions we find ourselves experiencing, there is a way through them that allows us to be faithful to God, to our commitments, to our spiritual ideals to all these things. And in order to do that, to me, I have come to try to see all the parts of my life as being things where I need to have sort of a practice. You know, we have a practice of prayer or a practice of saying the daily office. I have a practice of meditation. We have a practice of reading the scriptures. We have a practice of attending Eucharist or morning prayer together and worshiping as members of the body of Christ. And all of those things allow us to make real and make specific and make present in the world all these commitments and values that we claim to have. And I think a lot of us do have, but sometimes we have trouble expressing them. So I guess for me, my pitch is try it, you'll like it, in the words of the old advertisement. And that it really is possible to do more than we think we can do if we don't try. If we take it, you know, small steps at a time, bit by bit, moment by moment. It's not something you make one giant leap and land where you want to be. It's a very slow, progressive journey. Thank you.